Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Harm's Way Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Craig. Across from me is my loyal and obedient brother. I'm sorry to make you sound like a little bit of a Cocker Spaniel there, but Eric, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Coming at you from the basement.
The
Just
basement.
had Thanksgiving dinner.
Ripping that dirty fucking 30. Episode 30, motherfuckers.
Dirty 30, yeah.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
It's kind of special, because I'm about to turn 30.
You are. The same month
That
my
popped
son's
in
about
my
to
head.
turn 5.
Yeah. Yeah,
All right,
that just
Eric.
popped in my head.
Starting off today, special episode. Yesterday being Thanksgiving. First off, wonderful dinner, I will say.
Oh.
It was a great time. The food was great. Mom
I almost got sick.
fucking... Oh, dude, I had to shit
Almost got
immediately
sick.
after. Mom
I got blitzed before.
massacred that food. She killed it. That shit was on fucking point. Rachel killed it with the deviled eggs. I'm pretty sure you could mix in dog shit and a deviled egg and I would still eat it. Did you start the camera?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I ate my weight in cheesy potatoes.
Dude.
And I was already, like, I was pretty buzzed up. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't even say I was buzzed. I was drunk yesterday.
And
before we started eating.
tomorrow I'm deep frying a turkey
And then-
for our other family's Thanksgiving.
I ate a shitload of food. Enough to kill an Ethiopian village. And
It was a lot.
then I slept like a baby
Oh yeah.
for about 5 hours. And then I got up and...
We went home at the right time because after I unwound, I started watching the rest of that. I still have an episode and a half of that Wednesday on Netflix. And I was like, what a perfect fucking show to fall asleep to. And I was like, I didn't even have to take the Netflix. The NyQuil, I was fucking out.
I think I fell asleep about 9 o'clock. Like, it was not long after, like, everybody went home. I was screwing around with the video editing. And then there was a point where I was just like, I have to lay down.
You're upright too long.
Next thing I know, I'm waking up, it's 3 a.m. I'm like, better get back to work. And I just was like, from 3 a.m. to about 8, I was running different, basically some trial and error on our intro videos and shit like that.
Eric's trying to beef the show up.
Seeing what I can get away with, trying to learn new things. I've seen a lot of YouTube videos in my day, and I've seen intro videos and how people, tweak things to make it better and whatnot. So I'll get in my mind and be like, I remember the way this guy did this.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to recreate that.
Yeah.
And I'll basically try to recreate what he did to try to learn what the fuck I need to do that.
Yeah.
So, so the last 2 nights I've spent a lot of time doing that.
The mock-ups you
And
sent me so far are really...
It's great because we're getting, how like you develop,
damn good.
you develop any kind of skill, you get to the point where you start developing little tricks.
Yeah.
Like, the rules say I can't do this, but I can get around it by doing this.
For me, it was masturbation, but yeah.
Yeah. I'm getting to that point.
Okay.
I'm starting to like read between the lines and be like, I don't have that built-in transition or whatever. I can fucking force it by doing this. Or, yeah. So we're getting to that point where it's like the exploratory surgery is paying off.
Great.
So I'm having a lot of fun with it. And this video, I'm probably going to... I'm going to marry it up with one of those intro videos. And when I have the intro video for when we get the 4 cameras going and we start managing things through like a stream app, like Streamlabs or YouTube Live or something.
Wanted to talk to you about that, but yeah, go ahead.
You liked it, didn't you?
I did.
I got the music
feedback.
makes all the difference.
Well, I got some feedback today.
Who'd you kick that out to?
I didn't kick that out to anybody. I got feedback about how we need to evolve to a 2-camera system with the switchback.
Yes.
Especially for the TikTok. Believe it or not, somebody had said something about. They said your TikTok's great, but I feel like I'm like far away staring, and the audio blows on them. So that's something again we're working on, guys. We're fucking working.
The thing is, well, I can't really use the money thing. I was gonna say it.
No, you can.
It takes money to do.
You can.
What we want to do. We're slowly doing things in stages. Honestly, Craig, for 2 months of doing this, we've come a long way.
I think so.
And like when we ordered the tables and the chairs and all that shit, and that one day we were down here for like 4 hours rearranging shit, planning out the basement.
That was
design.
my COVID when I was down with COVID.
That was. You had COVID. You were like on the ass
fucking
end of.
Slow down, dude.
You were like on the ass end of COVID. I was afraid you were gonna fucking vaporize in front of me.
I said, Eric, I'm gonna work a little bit and then have to sit down. And what happened was I got that baseline sweaty, and then I just fucking rolled.
You
like
didn't
I didn't
stop.
get more sweaty, I didn't get less sweaty. I just stayed like that, and I was like, you know what? This is me now.
You kind of freaked me out a little bit. Yeah. I like I said, I thought you were gonna vaporize right in front of me. And you were showing me your cocktail of drugs that the doctor gave you up on the shelf.
Dude,
over there.
they fucking overloaded.
But like
you're either gonna die or get better.
Like,
there's no in between.
That day, being productive and knowing like we have a goal and we're working towards it, and you're seeing the progress in real time.
Yeah.
Like that sense of accomplishment and getting it done. It was kind of like a runner's high.
That teetered it for me, and I think
we got everything set up, and it was like, we're fucking doing this.
Because that was right before. That was right before I clicked. I checked my card out because I started getting the stuff in because I think we set up one of the desks, right? Yeah. We set up one of the desks, one of the chairs, and something. And I was like, when I was down with COVID, I had my shitty little laptop down here, and I'm like, fuck it. I was like, we've been talking about this. Mm-hmm. I was like, submit, and I submitted a big order. I slowly paid it off. And shit just started trickling in. I was like, Eric, let's go. And I think that sparked you when we moved the basement around, and it was just kind of like
there was that point where I was like, let's
go.
We could have just got a couple Blue Yetis and done this on the couch.
At first, we could.
But it was fun to turn it into a project, and we were going to progress to this point anyway, so why not just fucking do it now? Why not do what we can manage now?
The computer was the funniest part to me because I was like, I gotta fucking get something, man. This little ring-ding thing ain't gonna do shit. Yeah. Now, knowing what we know, we could have got away with that.
But that was so worth it because you can use it for other things.
What it was Mitch actually sent me the link to this SkyTech PC, and I was like, what? And I was blown away by the price, and I sent it to you, and you were like, that's a dope fucking setup. And I was like, submit.
Yeah. And it was, like I said, it was worth it because it can do what we need it to do. You can also use it as pretty much...
Oh, this thing's beefed up. I haven't even tapped into 2% of this thing yet. Which is great because as long as I'm running updates and keeping it kosher, this will be the home station.
Those home-built or pre-built PCs, you can upgrade them.
Yes. I really
when
don't...
you buy some kind of
need it yet, but
Dell computer or whatever, you can't upgrade. When you buy an Apple, we all know where that ends.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah.
You can't fucking do shit to
and
those.
I was gonna get an Optiplex.
There are people out there that are way smarter than me that can, but the average consumer is not going to be able to fucking do what they do.
And I was gonna get like a cheaper Optiplex or something, but when you stack up the Optiplex with like a, not a GTX or an RTX, but like an UHD graphics, like a lower end graphics card, you're around the price of what I can get this, what is it, 3060 or 3080 GTX or RTX. Again, I don't fucking know. You guys are going to make fun of me for that, but it's at the same price point, I got a banging PC.
I think you got the 3060.
3060, maybe. Whatever. It's new and it's fast as fuck. And
it's a newer generation. So
I'm rocking 1,000 megs up and down.
Yeah.
Fiber optic.
I feel obligated since we're talking about computer building and whatnot. If anybody's listening that wants to build a computer, there's 2 websites you need to know. And I've told you about this before.
PC Builder.
No, PC Part Picker.
PC Part Picker.
And then PC Benchmark. You go into PC Part Picker, and you literally pick out the parts you want to build the computer.
And those aren't sponsorships, by the way, people.
No, they're not. I'm just a big fan of both those sites because I'm a novice computer builder. I've only done it once, and I had help from a guy.
You got a pretty good Red Rocket setup, though.
I had a guy help me
who
was
a little bit.
way beyond his years when it came to computer hardware, computer science, and software engineering, and all that shit. Anywho, but these websites make it really easy for average people who don't know a lot about it to build the shit from scratch. Customize it how you will, whatever. But PC Part Picker, you pick out the parts. It'll throw up any red flags about, hey, this part's not compatible with this, whatever. Once you get your build, you punch that into PC Benchmark, and it'll tell you, it'll gauge it based on if it's a gaming computer.
Yeah.
if it's a
multi-purpose
desktop, multi-purpose, or if it's a workstation for like professional shit.
Yeah.
It'll benchmark it in those 3 categories and tell you where you're at. And
see, that's what I liked about this one.
so you can build something that's more gaming,
Yeah.
but not really good for doing work and whatnot. Or you can build something that's good
All
for
around.
doing work, but not good for gaming. Because, games and professional applications and whatnot,
They need different shit.
they use different resources and whatnot. Or you can build some all-around crazy thing that they literally call it a UFO.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you use those 2 tools, somebody who doesn't know anything about computers, you use those 2 tools, maybe some quick Google searches on the parts you're picking out and whatnot, and somebody says, what's a CPU? Okay. Google it, go to PC Part Picker. Start kind of learning, it's almost like learning the lore of like your favorite fucking Netflix show or something like that. You're like, okay, what's a CPU? Where are we at nowadays or whatever? There's things that Intel's doing, there's things that AMD are doing. Figure that stuff out first. It doesn't take long, and then you can just build from there. And then you can benchmark it, you figure out where your performance is going to lie.
Yeah.
And you can also, at that point, you can start mixing matching parts and be like, I want to get a little bit more out of it on the gaming front. So, you can start doing it, and you can, that's a quick Google search, just how can I get more how can I get more performance if I'm more game oriented or whatever. Boom, there you go. It'll tell you what you need to look for. And eventually you do that, you spend enough time in that realm, it's like anything. You're going to start understanding more of what's going on and whatnot. And you're going to understand what RAM does versus what your CPU does.
God damn it.
What your lower bridge does, what your upper bridge
That's what I was
does.
going to talk about.
Shit like that. So,
That's what, I had to Google the difference between memory and storage, because I was very fortunate because I had 3 people that I was talking to that put a lot of shit in Craig language, not computer guy geek squad language. I had you, Mitch, and Curry, who the way you guys explain shit was phenomenal. You have some people you ask about computer stuff, and they're like, oh, the IFPP and the CTU and the CPU, and you're like, fuck you, come on. you guys explain shit to me, and then you explained why. But I was asking you all different things too. Like I would be on something, and I would send like a question out, and whoever answered me first, I was like, okay, cool. Yeah. But you guys were very good, and I love you guys for that. But I did learn quite a bit.
There's people that can regurgitate information, and then there's people that can dumb it down to convey
and that's
it
what
to
I
you
needed.
properly.
Yes.
Nobody gives a oh, you can memorize the dictionary. What the fuck use is that? I don't give a damn.
Tell me the definitions.
But when you can convey it to other people in a way that's constructive, that's going to help them and maybe help you. When you can actually take a concept, you talk about like engineering principles or something. It's like, oh yeah, it's written in this test book, the principle of buoyancy or whatever. It's like, okay, yeah, I understand that. I can regurgitate it verbatim to the professor. Can you fucking use it?
Yeah.
Can you use it?
Yeah.
There's a difference between people that can and can't. I don't give a shit that you can memorize this entire textbook. Can you use it?
Yeah.
Can you use it in a creative way that's actually going to be practical? That's going to help you or going to help others. That's the difference.
And I went super bougie on some things too. Like I didn't have to get the Korea 27s with the 165 refresh rate. Like I didn't have to do all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I wanted it. I wanted something, to be proud of that I could. Basically, these are the only monitors that I'll need for a very long time. We didn't have to start out with 4 Blue Yetis. You know what I mean? Like
no, that's why we did it in stages. We said that
a
from
lot of
day
people
one.
don't start a podcast with a high-end microphone like this, but we have 4 of them. We're very fortunate when it comes to that.
Yeah.
The monitor mounts, doing them like this, like to save space and shit. Like it's kind of like I sent people at work pictures of like my workstation when I do work from home, and they're like, "Fucking A."
That's the other thing.
Nuts.
That's the other weird thing is like you really with anything nowadays, it doesn't take much to get ahead of the curve. It doesn't take much to get ahead of the curve.
Bring,
but
that would have been bad with that phone.
Yeah, like I said, we could have started with that fucking thing interrupting us every 10 minutes.
Sing! Just insurance people trying to talk to grandma. She answered the other day, and she's like, I don't own this house anymore.
We would literally have to do our episodes between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. to give us zero chance at the fucking phones ring.
So staying back on topic, the reason we started off talking about Thanksgiving, one of the things that I wanted to ask you was, what are you thankful for? Just to stay with the theme of the holidays, because Thanksgiving is the beginning. To me, the day after Thanksgiving is when Christmas starts. So up until that point, you're
I saw a lot of Christmas lights on my way over here.
Oh yeah, and seriously, I think people
wasted
put 'em up
no
today.
time.
Fucking today.
No time, man. It was
most people were off, so you got to think.
So I'll start with the soft stuff. I'm thankful for the weather we've had lately because it's been pretty awesome outside.
Yesterday, bro.
Yeah, it was. It was like 68.
I turned off Mom and Dad's heater. I turned it off. And I opened all the windows.
When I first came walking out, I heard you say something about I'm turning your furnace off.
Because I walked in, I started sweating off my nipples. Like my nipples don't.
It should have been turned off anyway because Mom had the fucking front door open all goddamn day.
And she's running.
She opens the door at like 10 a.m.
She's running the heater at like 485.
She does the same shit in the summer too.
Turkey done.
She does the same shit in the summer. It'll be 90 degrees outside. She opens that fucking front door, and I'm like, why is the AC running? Pick one. She also doesn't seem to understand that if you keep the house dark, the blinds pulled and everything, it keeps the house fucking cool. But yeah, what am I thankful for? Like I said, good weather. I'm in good health. I have a job I think I can deal with, work through. No, I'm serious. Like, as much as I hate and bitch and rage about my job, I do hate it. I fucking hate it.
I know.
But I'm glad I have it because...
it pays for meth.
No. I got a lot of ideas, and I have a lot of well, that's probably the best way to describe it. Ideas. I have a lot of ideas and things I'm going to do in the future, and it's going to help support that. So I'm very thankful that I have something to provide kind of a gateway. I'm very thankful that we still come together every Thanksgiving. Dad remarked to me
as fucking crazy as it gets for like 10 to 20 minutes, but yeah.
Dad remarked to me the other day, he goes, I don't even know why we celebrate this anymore. And I was like, Dad, there's literally two reasons. I said, one, all of us hanging out and having fun, and we're not at fucking work. So that's what it is.
I feel so bad for him. So, like, I did go downstairs and talk to him for a minute, and he was like, I was like, when are you going back to work? Probably not till the first of the year. I'm like, fuck, dude. I'm like, are you okay? Like, I was like, you guys need anything? And he's like, no, we're fine. I have your brother. I'm just kidding. He did say, he's like, no, we're fine.
The thing is,
we'll
like,
survive.
Let me finish out your first question.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Good weather, having time off from work, being with family, because family is fucking important. Yeah, I think 99% of the population doesn't realize how goddamn important family is.
Or how lucky they are to have family, to have grandparents, to have parents. Eric and I are
fortunate. Or to have a brother. If I was an only child, I probably would have shot myself by now.
Eric and I are fortunate to have both of our parents. And, my wife, unfortunately, doesn't have her father. And you see that around the holidays because it fucks with them. It will fuck with anybody. And I feel bad for them.
The other thing I want to say, like, it's been really fun having Dad. Like, when he got that surgery and, like, he's...
like, having him home and shit?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's different.
I don't think... Listen, back me up on this. Has there ever been a time where we had our dad at home for 3 months?
No, never.
No.
Dad has been an 80-hour work week guy.
It's pretty fun.
For 40 fucking years.
Before he could go down in the basement, before he could go downstairs again, he'd post up in the recliner in the living room. He'd have a plate of, like, trail bologna and cheese next to him. He'd be like, sitting there watching something with Mom, laughing his ass off. And it's like, I hadn't seen this since I was a kid.
He kept telling me,
and I love it.
He's like, I'm so fucking tired. He's like, I feel bad because I can't. He's like, the stuff that needs done, the stuff I gotta get done. He's like, I'm so fucking tired. And I'm like, Dad, you like, I get it, okay? I was like, you have to rest though. I was like, you're 3 weeks from whenever they cut him open. It's basically the turnaround time for that shit's 6 weeks. That for a full knee replacement, in order to you start feeling right again, it's got to be around 6 weeks.
The thing that pisses me off though, he's like, oh, there's so much to do. He doesn't fucking tell me any of this.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, Dad, I'm your pack mule. Like,
pack me.
I've done some things to help him out and whatnot, but the biggest thing is I'm flapping in the wind because he doesn't tell me. He doesn't convey to me what he wants done, how he wants it done.
It's because I don't think he realizes.
I don't think he wants to use me, but at the same time, why not? I'm living with you. I'm here to help.
Yeah.
That's the thing. When he comes and asks me to do something, I go fucking do it. Now, Mom, I'll fucking argue with her all goddamn day. But Dad, if he asks me to do something, I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. I don't give a shit.
Can we talk about how
like the whole thing with the hill and tearing
Absolutely.
down the retaining wall and all that? He didn't even ask me to do that. He just didn't do it. And I got to the point where I was like, fuck, we need to get this done.
Can we talk about how Mom... You tried the cheese ball, right?
Let's go back. Let's sum up your first question.
Well, I haven't answered mine, but yeah.
Well, I know. Because we keep going off on
That's fine.
tangents and whatnot. I'm thankful for the time off of work. I'm thankful for good health, good weather, being with family. I'm thankful. My family is what basically makes me realize that my employer doesn't exist. So
thank you. Yeah.
We had a lot of fun yesterday. And like we have family coming in from out of town and whatnot. When's the last time we saw our aunt and uncle?
They drive 2 hours, hang out with us, have a awesome fucking time.
Yeah.
And then they jump back in the car because they had to work the next day. But they're from Columbus, so this is a big weird time for that city too because the Ohio State Michigan game's in Columbus. So they were talking about how crazy, and they live on the outskirts. They live in Grove City, which is like a suburb of Columbus, but still like a stone's
on the southwest side.
Yeah, a stone's throw from High Street and the university.
Mm.
Well, you know what I mean.
It's not that close.
I just like I was
on the outskirts.
I was bragging that I know what High Street is. Fuck you.
I've been on High Street.
Yeah, I bet you have. But
I went down there one time. Fucking hated it.
It was good to see them. It was great. Yes. What else?
That's it. What are you thankful for?
I got a mini list here. I'm gonna go through them. All right. Obviously family. Okay. Family is very important. I don't mean to sound like Dom Toretto or anything like that. Family. But family is what's always kind of kept me grounded and kept me sane. Kept me from eating a barrel. Seeing everybody in their element. Making family laugh is like one of my biggest things. I fucking love making Barb and Tom laugh. Like that it's fun. I like making Dad and you, Mom, Rachel, she laughs all the time. She laughs too much. I fucking need to tone it down with her. But it's just it's great, to see everybody, to catch up. Grandma had a fucking blast driving her ass over there, and she probably would have stayed till fucking 10, but way past her bedtime. I'm thankful.
Yeah, 'cause she gets up at 4.
Yeah,
she's indoctrinated.
Kind of on the family spin. I'm thankful for this podcast. I'm thankful for how far we've taken this and how long we've gone so far. I'm thankful for what we can do with it, and that I get to share it with you. I get to share it with Rachel. I get to share it with any other guests that we have on. I'm thankful that we have a 4th spot now to have 2 other people on. I'm thankful for going yard on my brother when he pitched to me in the backyard yesterday.
We had one impromptu game of wiffle ball.
Eric wanted to know if I still had it.
I was drunk then too.
And he sent one right down the fucking middle.
Maybe like 20 pitches. I hit you twice.
He hit me with some steamers. I still got some bruises.
I had maybe
but the last one I said, one more, Eric, and then I'm done. And Charlie's out there bouncing around. I was afraid I was going to take him yard by accident. And this dude sends me one absolute fucking stinger right down the middle. Beauty.
I threw like 20 pitches. I hit you twice. I think I had maybe 2 or 3 where you swung and missed.
Yeah.
A bunch of foul tips.
Yeah. But I sent this piss missile.
Straight
over the fence.
There was one I was really proud of. I'm dealing with like a 6-inch plastic softball.
He can throw a curve.
I seamed up on that fucker like it was going to be a curveball. That motherfucker sunk right in there and you swung and missed. And I was like,
are you out of beers?
That's all I needed. Here you go. Maybe like 3 fingers of this left.
No, I meant that's all you brought.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, hell of a pitch. But I sent that bitch to Tuesday, and it felt great because I had to twist. I did the bat flip. I was like, ugh.
You did pretty good. You were batting left-handed when we started.
Yeah, I was swinging.
You were swinging lefty, and it was so much easier for me to pitch when you were lefty.
But I was pulling. I was basically pushing with my right arm, and it just didn't feel natural. Yeah. But Eric started to get a a little more pep in his pitches, and I
Well,
was like, all right, fuck this, and I got
I
to
moved
the other
back
side of the
too.
plate.
I started off like 15
I was like,
feet
he's
from
getting
you, like
serious.
a dumbass.
I need to get serious, and then he just sends me one absolute.
I started
Mona
off
Lisa
like
down the
15
middle.
feet in front of you, and then when we ended, I was like 60 feet from you or something.
But believe it or not, Charlie's favorite one was the one that I foul tipped so fucking high, and it went on the roof.
Skipped off the roof over by where the pool was.
He could not care about the piss missile I ripped over the back fence. But he followed you. You said you're going to get that, and then Eric continues to unlock the gate and then walk.
If I could, that one that you hit on the roof,
you almost caught that, yeah.
It didn't hit on the roof though. It went over the back porch.
I thought it hit the roof.
No, because I remember thinking I could have dove for that.
I was afraid,
but I'd have given myself hick teeth on the concrete because I would have dove right into that concrete.
I'm thankful for that. That was a great time. The future. I'm thankful for Mom's cheese ball. I thought she absolutely fucking murdered that cheese ball, and that was perfect. This last thing I'm going to bring up is something I talked about earlier with somebody who was giving us feedback about the show. Is I'm thankful to be able to laugh through it all, the ups, the downs. I'm thankful to be able to handle the adversity that we get the way that I do, whether it be healthy or not. But I'm thankful to just be able to laugh with you guys and make you laugh and contribute to a lot of good times. So, yeah, put the fucking Kleenex away. That's all I got. That's as soft as I'm going to get for this episode.
I'm thankful to have hope for the future.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me dig into some other topics before we run out of shit.
Yeah, I mean, like, what else can I say?
Oh, I got one. This is more lighthearted. Go ahead, what were you going to say?
Nothing.
Oh.
I didn't have anything geared up.
Okay, so on the... I feel like the hype man when you talk about boomers, right? And I'm like on the outside. Like you have the actual... You and Mitch both. You guys have the actual facts and everything, and I'm just in the back going, yeah, fuck them. Like, I just... So...
Yeah. Yeah, fuck the free world.
Fuck the free world. What'd you say? Fuck the free world.
Man, you 3 1/3 bitches ain't nothing.
Cheddar Bob. So I literally in my notes I just wrote boomers versus self-checkouts. So I was at a store the other day, and the only checkout, and I shall not name the store, but the only checkout. Silence. The only checkout was a self-checkout. And self-checkouts have been a thing for 6 to 8 years now. And you still have old people that, and I don't mean old in the sense of like wheelchair, like 80s old. I mean like 50, 60-year-old spry motherfuckers that can still learn and have, they can be used in this society. They're useful people. And they can't fucking figure out a self-checkout. Like, if you don't know to hit green by now, for fucking credit, like, go away. And yellow if it's Walgreens.
I don't know why I remember this. But the first time you and I watched Bad Santa, the first time he comes over to the kid's house, and she's like, he's like, I live with my grandma. And he goes, is Granny spry? And he pulls like the ski mask down. You and I looked at each other and we're like, what the fuck does spry mean?
So, I had this, and this old guy, he already wasn't having a good day. He did not give a flying fudge. I got you. A flying fudge about all the assholes behind him. I'm just kidding.
Are you referring now? I said we need to keep it clean.
Yeah.
I said fuck like 14 times already.
I know, but I don't also want you like getting fucking carpal tunnel trying to edit all these.
No, I'm not doing that.
But he just doesn't give a shit about any of the people behind us behind him, and he's like jamming his card in like he's trying to twist it between the ribs or something, right? And it's obviously when it's doing that, it's bouncing out a little bit, right? And it's just not fucking working for him. and he's doing it. He's hitting numbers, and she's like, "Are you trying to put your pin in?" And he goes, "What pin?" And I'm like, "Why are you fucking punching numbers?" He's like, "Oh, I thought it wanted my address." I'm like, "There's no fucking letters." So I'm going, "You've got to," and I'm just sitting there holding like a gallon of milk or something. And I'm like, this guy, like, just fucking pay cash. And he says, "Can I write a check?" And I was like, "Jesus, take me now." And it was just like, it was very painful because this happens to me a lot. Like I always, or they hit red. Red cancels it out there.
Yeah.
Jedediah, like, get the fuck out of here. Or they're like putting their card in like they're defusing a fucking bomb. Like, just put it in. And the one guy's putting it in and he didn't have a chip. I didn't know they still had cards without chips. He might have had a fucking gift card or something. But dude, they're just, it's so fucking frustrating. I get it if you don't get out, right? But these are people that, you know, they gotta go get their fucking medicine. They're not carrying cash anymore. How many times does it take using a self-fucking checkout that you realize, oh, they're all the same. They're all the same. Rant over. I'm sorry. Boomers. You guys actually hate boomers for, like, legitimate reasons. I hate them for, like, superficial shit like that. And I don't know if that's right or not, but I'm on the train with you guys. I hear you. I don't feel your pain. I feel a different kind of pain. But boomers, fucking come on, dude. I know they're not going to listen to our shit, but...
Yeah, I think I think a lot of that comes back to not having, like, that, there's a certain mindset when you go out into the world.
I don't want to change.
You're going to figure shit out. Side note, well, there's people being ignorant and people being like, "I'm going to figure this shit out," okay? Out of utility. I'm going to figure this shit out. And then there's the ignorant people that are just like, off with you. But, do you think, are you one of those people that thinks that they're stupid questions?
If you're trying to get me to say that fucking cliche, there's no stupid questions, there's just stupid answers. No, there are 100% stupid fucking questions.
Yeah.
And no one's safe. I've asked stupid fucking questions before. I have, 100%. I'm not going to sit here on my fucking high horse and be like, "I've never asked a stupid question in my life." No, I've 100%. I probably asked one last Tuesday. I don't fucking know, like recent. But yes, there are stupid questions.
I think if you say there are stupid questions, but you also say that I forget what I was going to say.
I don't think now. take this with a grain of salt, okay?
Oh,
because
man.
I think if you're doing a process, right, and you're constantly asking to get it right, to not fuck something up, I don't think that's a stupid question. I know a lot of people, that's where their minds go. Like, oh, the new guy keeps asking how to fucking, how to load the oven. Okay, well, he wants to load the oven correctly so it doesn't blow up and cost the company millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Or my thing when I worked in the oil field. You asked about irons and where to release pressure, because if you didn't, you fucking blow up $1 million piece of equipment like that.
Yeah.
So that's not a stupid question. You can ask me. I've had green hats ask me the same question 9 fucking times in a shift, not a hitch.
I was going to say...
That's not dumb.
I was going to say, asking stupid questions versus questioning everything. Because the thing I've noticed over the years, like, people don't admire people that ask stupid questions, but people admire people who question everything.
It's fucking
And I get
ignorance.
this weird fucked up clash where it's like, "Oh, we love interns because they question everything." Then you ask a question and you're like, "That's a stupid question," because you're dealing with some egomaniac fucking... I almost said it. You're dealing with some egomaniacs. I'm not going to answer that question because that's beneath me. Kill yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because...
You tend to get that clash, and it's like, you're a narcissistic, egotistical prick. Seriously. Go underwater
fuck
and don't come back up.
You, until the bubbles stop, You and I were raised to question everything, in almost like a philosophical level. That's how you learn. And I mean question everything, question the processes. Question, is there a better way to do things? Is there a more efficient, a more safer way to do things? That's how we were raised.
Or just from a communication aspect, to be explicitly clear, especially when you're dealing with something that's safety related.
Yes.
So I'm out there fueling a bomb, and that's the thing nowadays, man. There's so much like nuance to things that it's like you're not gonna know unless you just fucking know. So if you don't know, ask the fucking question.
And
especially when safety's at stake.
The greatest thing is, and I think Dad told us this. He said, excuse me, if you get to the point where there's no more questions to be asked, it's either because the process is perfect or you don't fucking care anymore.
Yeah.
And it's one side of that spectrum is perfect, the other is kind of scary, right? Mm-hmm. If it's working perfectly and everything's fine, efficient, and safe, there's no more questions. Mm-hmm. If you stop asking questions on your own, it's because you're either getting shot down by management, and first thing that happens is you stop giving a shit.
Yeah.
It's good.
I've always pondered that because my tennis coach was one of those people that literally would be like, there are stupid questions. Somebody would ask a question, he'd outright ignore them and walk away.
Dude, if we covered it before,
I don't think that's being a leader. I don't think that's being a man.
Yeah.
He was a piss poor excuse for a man. But anywho, yeah. So like I've gone back and forth about that. Like you really want to stroke your ego when somebody asks a question. You're like, that's a stupid question. I'm gonna answer you anyway because a lot of times you just don't fucking know.
Yeah.
You don't know. Well, because we are taught to try to think things through. We're taught to try to think things through, but in such a way that we still question everything.
Yeah.
And there's so much fucking nuance to everything nowadays. Hey, the way you asked me that question, the tone in your voice made me think it was a trick question. So I'm going to ask you what you meant. Oh, that's a stupid question.
When did questions become bad?
Ask questions.
That's what I mean. Like, is it like a superiority complex?
A lot of it's ego. It's egotistical shit. Because I can think of everybody in my life that's ever said, oh, that's a stupid question, I'm not going to answer it. Narcissist. Stone cold, egotistical narcissist. That's what it is.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
And I know there are some subjects out there where it's like you're either going to fucking know it or you're not. So ask the question so that we're perfectly clear and we can move on and you can be more capable and I don't have to worry about getting blown up. I'm serious.
Yeah, I know.
I'm talking about this in the context that I've seen, where it's like when you're out at the test pad fueling a fucking bomb, do you think there are stupid questions? No, because you want everybody to be perfectly clear.
And
when you have the guy who's out there supposed to be a fucking leader, who's just showing off to interns all the time, and he says, "Oh, that's a stupid question." He doesn't answer it and walks away. Literally, these two are like my tennis coach versus that asshole. They're the same fucking person.
And I think if you start discouraging questions, that's when, especially young people, new people, green hats were a big thing. They told green hats, they said ask questions. Don't be afraid. If it's stupid, it's stupid. Because they're new to that. They might catch something that we fucking see, every day and think it's all kosher and good to go. So when you discourage questions, that's when accidents or incidents happen and people fucking die.
Well, that was one of the things I learned, or one of the things when I worked out west. They were, we love interns. We love interns. Because they're outside looking in. They got a different perspective than us. I was like, okay, why don't you fucking listen to us?
Or why don't you have that?
When we call something out, why do you get all fucking butthurt? Why do you stick your... Like, you can tell when you're an engineer or an engineering student or whatever. You can tell when the science speaks for itself and the logic speaks for itself and when it's some asshole's fucking ego getting in the way. You can tell. So why is it when we ask questions and we call shit out and you give me some bullshit answer, it is a fucking giant red flag. It is fucking lights in the New York skyline. Kind of obvious when you're putting your fucking ego before everybody else. And that shit, I don't even know if they're still in business. I kind of want to... I hope they're not because they're led by some complete fucking idiots. But yeah, that shit's gotta stop. Take your fucking ego out of it.
Ego in the workplace. Well, okay. One of the things that I really don't like is the inability to put yourself in someone else's shoes, or the inability to look at a situation. You can't go into every situation ever and be like, my mindset is perfect, my mindset is the correct, get on my level or fuck off. That is what I don't like. I really, because I've always prided myself on that. I can put myself in other perspectives and be like, you know what? And I've changed a lot of how I feel about things, or I've just been more understanding. And I think a lot of people suffer with that, the former, that ability, that inability to see things through other people's eyes. Basically fighting ego. God, that's such a great topic. We could do a whole fucking show on. It's just fighting ego. Because I still have, at 33 years old, I still have situations where I go into it and my ego steps forward first. And I have to check myself. And I don't like that. I don't want to be that guy. I was that guy fucking 10 years ago, and a lot of people didn't like and respect. And I don't want to go backwards. I don't want to backslide. But ego, yes. Ego in the workplace is a big one.
I think you're right. I think that's a topic that we could spread that across 10 episodes.
Wow.
Is really understanding what the ego is.
That'd be a little boring, but
really understanding the detriment to it.
It's a philosophical thing.
I imagine there's some benefits as far as being bold and showing initiative and whatnot, but yeah, like, goddamn, I can tell you right now, the job I work at.
Yeah, you're plagued with that shit. I don't want to get into it too much, but yeah.
Most of the detriment is wrapped up in people's egos.
Well, that's personnel.
You have to work with me. I don't have to work with you. You know, we try to drum up this ideal notion of collaboration and whatnot, and it's a joke. It's a fucking joke.
Do you ever think that those people...
We're not having a group discussion. I go to a meeting in the morning and it's a fucking firing squad. And I'm not the only one.
Are the uncoachable kids in sports?
But the people that should have, like, died in the crib.
Because they're my favorite analogy is... Ah, shit, I just forgot it. Uncoachable kids turn into useless adults. Something like that.
Yeah, because you're so disagreeable to the point where there's no feedback loop that actually helps you improve. You're just 100% stone cold turned off. I'm not going to listen to you.
And that always
I'm
stuck.
not going to listen to you.
That always
If they're not going to listen to you. You're not going to be able to coach them. You're not going to be able to show them new things.
Yeah, that's
their way or the highway. And then when they get into adulthood, they become far more dangerous in that respect.
One of my favorite...
Jesus Christ, I just sounded like Jordan Peterson.
One of my favorite coaches, he said that. Like, I forget what year. Probably when I was young enough, because it stuck with me. I mean, let's say like sophomore year, like my first year playing for him. He said, you can be whatever you want. He's like, you can even be stupid if you want. He's like, but don't be uncoachable. He's like, listen to us. We fucking know what we're talking about. He said, if you want to be a fucking fire truck, be the best fire truck you can be, but fucking listen to us when we tell you to do something.
Yeah.
And it just his analogies were off the wall. Greatest coach I ever had. But that's what he said. It always stuck with me because I was like, okay. And then we'd go through drills, and coach would be like, hey, you're putting your arm here, or you're putting your foot here. Try doing it this way. And an uncoachable kid would be like, fuck you, Trick. Like, what do you know?
Fuck you, Trick.
But, like, I didn't want to do that. Yeah. And I listened to him. And for the most part, shit worked out pretty good in my favor. And I always kind of tried to translate that to, like, adulthood. And it just kind of took me falling on my face quite a few times to realize, like, hey, maybe you should start listening to the people that know a little bit more about life than you.
A big part of that is asking for help.
Oof, that's a big...
Think about it. When you're a kid in Little League, you're not asking for help, but you're giving help.
You're asking for ice cream after the game. That's what you're asking for.
But you're giving help without request. That's just the agreement you have with your coaches, right?
And they assume you're going to listen, yes.
Yeah, you're giving help and they assume you're going to listen.
It's like an unspoken rule.
Somebody's going out of their way to help you in a context that's inconsequential, because we're talking about Little League. But somebody's taking time and energy to help you with something. It doesn't really fucking matter. Maybe it does. We can argue that later. But talking about help with inconsequential shit. If you can't listen or you can't be coachable or whatnot, you're definitely not going to be able to ask for help later in life when you really need it. When you have to ask for it.
Yeah. When
you have to ask for help. And
I'm just like thinking
that's a big thing. That's a big recurring theme we're seeing nowadays. Men don't ask for help. Okay, well, it sucks because you need to swallow your pride and ask for help sometimes.
Pride and ego.
You have to.
Fucking comes back to that.
You have to.
Yeah.
There's times when you don't. Absolutely. It's like, oh, fuck, I can do this on my own. Okay.
Fuck you.
There's some times where it's like you need to take a step back and gauge whether can you do this on your own. Okay, maybe, but is it going to take you 10 times as long than if you ask for help?
Yeah.
You have to. There's a little bit more of like a utilitarian analysis to how you do things that you have to be conscious of.
That's a level of self-realization that I don't think people are ready for either.
I think it's a vicious cycle that snowballs in the wrong direction. That starts with being egotistical.
It circles back. Yeah.
You don't want to reflect upon yourself because you have an ego. I can do no wrong. I can't be wrong.
Maybe we should name this shit Harm's Way Philosophy, because I feel like we're tapping into some good shit right here, but it's just circling back to the same like pillars of being a shitty person. Which
be better.
Do better.
I think that's one of the themes we've kind of carried this whole way through. Be better. How do we be better?
We need to be better.
How do we be better?
And when I say we, I mean everyone. Everyone.
Well, yeah, you can always serve as an example for other people, and that's being a leader.
I need to be better. I keep making these fucking New Year's resolutions like, oh, I'm going to be more positive. I'm going to treat people better. I'm going to fucking have a better outlook on life. And then, by March, I'm like Al Bundy. Al Bundy and Ted Bundy mixed together.
What's the opposite of being a leader?
Being a follower?
Being a hypocrite. Leaders aren't hypocrites. True leaders aren't hypocrites.
But if you're a follower, aren't you a hypocrite anyway?
No. Why would you be a hypocrite?
I don't know. I'm just trying.
You're just fucking with me.
Yeah, you threw me a curveball, so I was trying to help you out.
No, I mean,
I'm trying to dig myself out.
That can be a big part of it. So,
I've never heard that before. Don't
be a hypocrite. How do we be a leader? How do we be better? How do we be better people? Being better is good for you. Could be good for other people.
So back to my
leadership
thing.
Really comes into like how do you convey that to other people?
If you stop having an answer,
how do they respond to it?
If you stop having an answer to how do I be better, you're either perfect or you don't fucking care anymore.
I think you're absolutely right. I think you're right.
And both those spectrums are kind of scary because no one's perfect.
Yeah.
No one. I think 9 times out of 10 you don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't want to vilify these people. Is that a word?
Yeah.
I don't want to vilify. Cut that out so I look smarter.
Shut the fuck up.
I don't want to vilify these people that don't want to be better. Because let's say on the off chance they're not hurting anyone. They're not, a monster. They're just keeping to themselves and they don't really... That's not bad. That's not the people we're attacking or shitting on. It's the people that outwardly want to be scumbags and want to hurt people and need to be better.
I think when you gauge everything against time, right? Logically speaking, it's like when we're in the Boy Scouts, do a good turn daily.
Oof.
Help somebody.
If you guys didn't know, we were in the Boy Scouts.
Well, I helped this person, right? Then time goes on, and I do it again. Well, aren't you getting better? I'm not saying it's a point system that you rack up points, but I'm saying like
it's funny you bring up that analogy.
The longer you go through time, continuing to be that person, you're being better and better.
Yeah,
you're being better.
I'm wondering why you're
not walking away. You're not engaging in all this bad behavior and whatnot. So over time, really, time is really the determining factor, and
because you have to grow. And yeah, I get that. Why did you choose Boy Scouts and not religion right there? Do unto others how you want done to you. Like religion, that would have been a huge analogy. You
the first thing that popped in my mind. Like, do something good for somebody and pass it on, pay it forward, you know, whatnot.
Even that, yeah.
But
yeah,
like,
I mean, that's how we were raised, though.
Because you asked the question of, like, well, what if somebody, you know, gets to that point where they think they're perfect? Whatnot. It's like, well, you can always keep it going.
Because I know.
You can always keep it going.
I know people that are like that. And they're the ones that are more fucked up than any of us.
I think there's a lot of pearl clutching and shit that goes on with that. Oh, I'm perfect or whatever. I don't have to do anything for me. Okay, yeah, sure, whatever. To each their own, I guess.
Yeah, whatever, loser. Just get away from us.
Yeah.
As I'm over here trying not to judge people. Again, New Year's resolution. Good topics, though. Those are great topics.
That's a topic for another story.
What, New Year's resolutions?
Yeah.
We'll do that closer to New Year's.
Yeah.
Got about 10 minutes left. Any more lighthearted stuff?
No. Like I said, I've been thinking about it a lot. I've got some plans in the works.
Some testing.
Not this winter, but I'm planning some shit out, but I'm not planning to move until spring. Because it's winter.
Planning to move what?
We'll talk about it later.
Oh,
but,
okay. Eric over here making
it's
money
winter.
Moves like Cardi B.
It's the season where you don't do anything.
Yeah.
But it's perfect time to plan. And like I said, I've been trying to learn as much about video editing, trying to get as creative as I can with it, and shit like that. So
I've been
having fun with it.
Has Mom caught the Christmas decorating bug yet?
No.
Rachel has.
Really? Well, I saw from the tree earlier.
It's cool because we actually have like a fireplace. Like now, this is going to be our first Christmas in a house in a place that's not
some shit ass Tommy block apartment.
A shithole where we're overpaying for rent. Now we're overpaying for a mortgage, but it's ours. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool Christmas. I'm excited. I don't know. I feel like after Thanksgiving, the Christmas spirit starts to hit me. I'm less of an asshole. I'm not an asshole. But she started decorating. She got the tree up. It looks good. Except for one section of it doesn't light. I feel really fucking bad because I should just buy her another tree. But is what it is. Charlie's super excited.
It's a fake tree. Who gives a shit?
Grandma's excited. Grandma's got her little tree.
You remember the scenes? All the figurines and the town and shit that Grandma and Grandpa would set up.
No, I don't. Grandpa
they had this table like this and be set up with this scene. It was like Whoville.
He was so fucking proud of it, and he's like, play with it. And the second we'd like touch it, he'd be like, don't fucking touch it. And we're like, what do you want from us, man?
He had a lot of those settings that were like this
they're
big
still
thing.
around here.
And it was like a pond. It had a magnetic carriage that would run underneath, so you could stick like a skater on there, and they'd fucking go around. Shit like that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I liked his train.
Grandpa would do like this. He would like make like a mountain. You know, he'd like stack something up to make like a mountain. He'd throw like the white cotton down to make this big scene that undulated and whatever. He'd have houses that were lit on the inside, tucked into the hills, and he'd have a whole fucking town.
And I think he still has some of that.
It was like if the Sea Monkeys had like made it into the Industrial Revolution. Like that's what he'd have, a giant fucking table in the living room.
And it would just take up so much room. He'd do them under the trees too, and you can't run that shit constantly because it's like.
Oh, that was cool.
And you're just like fucking hearing it.
But he'd have a tree upstairs. They have a tree downstairs too.
Yeah,
those days.
He went over and he would decorate outside too. It was my dad. Dad bought a fuck ton of lights and never put them up.
Dude, we have so much shit in that fucking basement that never got put out. No, it's not funny because Mom bitches at me about throwing stuff out and being like, "Oh, that's money you're throwing away." All the goddamn decorations that never got put out, all the shit taking up space in the basement that never got used.
All right. Yeah, I don't want to get another angry note about this episode.
Man, how do you buy something and never use it? Like, why do you buy shit that has no utility or you don't use it? Like,
I mean, I've bought guns and never shot people with them.
That's not the only thing you do with guns, Craig.
Do you awkwardly masturbate with them? Done it. No, Grandpa's setups used to be super. You thinking now?
Shut up.
Grandpa's setups used to be super dope. He went all out. He'd let him out for a couple months, then he just pack them up and
Yeah.
store them. I don't know, fucking somewhere. I'm still finding random shit stored around here.
I don't think he has any of that stuff still here.
I don't think we tossed. I think he sold.
No, yeah, I think he got rid of a lot of shit because the last like probably 5 or 6 years he really kind of dialed everything back.
He was giving stuff away, Eric.
Well, that too, but he didn't need all that shit sitting around. He wasn't gonna put it up.
I was like, I got 3 brand new chainsaws. Do my neighbors want them? Or my grandsons don't. Who the fuck said we don't? But that's neither here nor there. Mainly because it's dead, but yeah.
All right.
55.
Let's wrap her up.
55.
Episode 30 in the books. You can find us
It's gonna be a little short. Sorry, guys.
You can find us on Spotify, Amazon Music, Deezer, Ghana. The video will be uploaded to YouTube. What'd you say? We got some feedback earlier about we need to start evolving the camera setup.
Just it's what we're doing. And I told them that.
We're getting there.
We're fucking working on it.
We're getting there.
We both have jobs.
I'm not a
families.
fucking millionaire.
I have a family. Well, he has a family too, but he doesn't have kids.
I have no progeny.
Yeah. He pulls.
Is that the right word? Progeny?
Yeah.
Children? I have no children.
Progeny? Yeah, his prodigy.
Fuck it, move on.
So,
yeah, so the camera thing and all that shit,
it's gonna happen.
This is happening in phases, okay?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're moving on to that. Video will be uploaded to YouTube at Harm's Way Podcast. It'll also be uploaded to Rumble. If you go to Rumble, I found this out. Rumble's search bar at the top is ass. You have to do you have to do the drop down.
They're doing karate.
You have to do the drop down and hit channel, and then put in Harm's Way Podcast. Everything we have will come right up. If you try to search it from videos, it shows a bunch of random shit, people that have nothing to do with us and whatnot. So search channel on Rumble, Harm's Way Podcast. That's our channel there. Instagram, Harm's Way Podcast. TikTok, Harm's Way 8993.
Might have a Twitter coming here soon.
Oh yeah, we're working on that too. There's been rumors that Twitter is going to start up like a video page or whatever to be like another competitor to YouTube, which I think is great. So we can jump on that too, and we very well might. So, that's all I got. Craig.
Yes? My name is Jeff.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's all I got too. Thanks for listening, guys, as always. Give us a like, comment, share, subscribe. It's a big one. Mainly, show some love, because you know we got love for you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, motherfuckers. Bye.
Bye.